Here we are this morning with Alyssa Newsome, JCC LISD Academy, a regional middle college student. Alyssa was one of the first students with the JCC LISD Academy. She will be the first student to complete the program with a associate's degree as well as a high school diploma. So it's a very exciting day for all of us at the Academy, but especially for Alyssa because she is the one who's done this work. So I want to hear a little bit from Alyssa. Alyssa, first and foremost, how does it feel?
Well, you know, the sort of feeling can't really be put into a single word. It's there's so many different things that are just associated with a culmination to this point, to this day that's coming up tomorrow especially, that there's really nothing that I can say that would really communicate that. I don't know. Relief might be one word.
Yeah, sure.
And yeah, I'm speechless, I guess, because it feels like I've grown up here.
Sure. Absolutely. You've grown up, you've been a part of this. Speechless because all of your words have gone into numerous essays and papers and professors. So today, for those of you who are watching this, today is Alyssa's final exams. So she's wrapping up the semester. Tomorrow she'll be graduating December 15th. Now, Alyssa, how old are you?
15.
15. Now, what do your friends say when they hear, Alyssa was in 8th grade with me, Alyssa was in 7th grade with me. She is now 15 years old with an associate's degree and will be finishing up her high school diploma as well.
Most of them are pretty impressed, though. You know, I am a student just like any other student, and it's really not that I'm that much better than other students. It's just that I've had this great opportunity here. So I feel like I'm an equal among my peers. I've just been given this opportunity, and you know, it's very nice to be able to go to them and say what I've done, and they're very impressed with that.
Sure. Now, for some of the viewers who may not understand, what is that opportunity? What is the opportunity that Alyssa received? Talk a little bit about that. What is that opportunity?
The opportunity I received when I first came here was that I would be getting an associate's degree by the time I completed the academy, and I've done so.
So what did your schedule look like? Help our viewers understand. What did a typical week look like for you from when you first came to the academy till now?
That's like apples and oranges. I mean, there are some days, there are some semesters where I was not coming in at all because any high school classes that I needed were not offered or I had already taken them. And then there were other days where I was coming in like once or twice a week for the academy, and this last semester I came in every day, but I came in later in the day and I only had 2 classes that I needed to do. So it was a very flexible schedule that I could work with.
Mm-hmm. And what's been your program of study?
I did a vague, just kind of associates of the arts so that I can transfer out to a 4-year institution. I'm hoping to go to a college like College for Creative Studies, Ferris State, some other place that can offer me a degree in what I'm looking for.
Mm-hmm. And what is that specifically?
I want to go into video game development eventually, so 3D animation is what I want to do, but really, as long as I can get into the arts somewhere and have that be available for me in terms of financing and transportation and living conditions, and I'll go wherever I need to go.
Now, what does your family say about the cost savings that you've had up to this point?
Well, they've already had 3 older brothers of mine go through college, so it's kind of a relief to have somebody else complete their education and do it without costing them much.
And I got to say this on camera, just because we have this opportunity to. I know your brother, right? Your older brother, who's going to school as well, and you've just finished college essentially sooner than your older brother.
Mm-hmm.
What does he have to say about that?
I don't think he has much to say.
No?
No.
But are you going to rub it in his face a little bit on Saturday?
Maybe.
So a little sister, at least a little bit, right? Now, what's your home school?
Adrian Public Schools is where I went before I came here.
So, and how old were you when you came here?
I had just turned 13 a few months ago.
So you had just turned 13. You enrolled in this new program that, you know, we're taking a huge risk, a huge chance on things that you knew, a lot of unknowns, some that you knew, some that you didn't know what it would look like. Did you think you would be here in 2.5 years? I knew that you knew you were eventually going to do your associate's degree in your high school diploma, and you had 5 years to do it. But did you know or think for a second that you were going to do it this quickly in 2.5 years?
You know, I anticipate it might have been dragging out a little bit because I figure, you know, I have 5 years to be here. I can take my time and I can go to tech classes and stuff like that. But I decided to just get it done. And you know, it's a lot more impressive on paper to be done at 15 than it is to be done at 19 or 20. So
Sure. And what would you say to somebody who's watching, saying, "Oh, I want my son or daughter to do that. I want to be able to do that." Maybe we have some students listening are saying, "I want to be able to do that." What advice would you give them?
I tell them to consider all their options. You know, the academy isn't the only opportunity this year. There's middle colleges all over the state. There's opportunities at your home district. The LISD has a College Now program. There's lots of opportunities to be able to do the same thing that I've done.
And what about the benefit of taking college classes? How are college classes and high school classes different?
Well, the benefit now is that I feel like college classes are more normal for me. My high school teachers even noticed when I came back to some high school classes I needed to complete to graduate that I behaved differently than other students. You know, I didn't raise my hand as much. I had to remind myself to ask to go to the bathroom. I had to do a lot of things. You know, it was different. You know, in the college environment, it's a lot more open and, you know, it's a lot more open and there's a lot more personal responsibility, whereas in a high school class it's a bit more rigid, it's a bit more formulated.
Sure. Now talk a little bit more about that personal responsibility, because that's a huge piece. I think when we look at college prep and college, there's a bit of a disconnect, and you know, something that we work hard here at the Academy to really help you be a learner, help you understand what it means to be a learner so that you can access the information. And I can't think of a better example than you, who's shown this. And you've taught us. I mean, Alyssa has taught us how we can improve the program. Alyssa's comments, feedback, daily, you know, this is what an English portfolio looks like, the reality, the difficulty, the challenges, the amount of time, study time I've had to do. So what would you say about the college readiness?
I mean, I was always a responsible student before I came here. You know, I was usually ahead of my class. I tried to get my work done ahead of time, but college is something completely different. There's no more just doing it whenever you feel like. There's setting aside time in your day to do things and telling your friends or your family, hey, do you want to go here and here on this day? And I said, no, I've set aside that time to do this.
Sure. Making choices, choosing the higher road, you know, paying now to play later, right? Very cool. And how would you say the Academy helped you in that way?
They had a foundation for me. I mean, it was something completely different. I was 13 years old and I was coming here, and at first I did struggle, but I talked to them, and they provided books. They not only provide material things, but they also provided, you know, support and information and letting me know what I can do and helping me whenever I got to a difficult situation.
Now, it's hard to imagine here as we're sitting here, you know, seeing you sitting here with your cap and gown. I'm going to have you talk a little bit about your honor society in a second here, but having you sit here, it's hard to think, oh my goodness, what were some of the challenges that you had? What were some of the difficulties? So tell us a little bit about that. What were some of the challenges and struggles? Because you've been so successful, and you've made so many personal choices, and you've managed your time, and you've been motivated all along. You know, if I could say one thing that I've seen, even though I've only been part of Academy, I saw you in the soccer field. I was your coach for a minute there, but I've seen all along you always had the motivation. And they say that 85% of a student's performance in college is non-cognitive. And you know, what were some of those difficulties that you had?
You know, I pretty much mostly just learning how to take responsibility for myself in terms of when I first started going full-time, I wasn't managing my time. I wasn't setting aside time to do things. I figured, you know, I can do it. And then I ended up getting a much lower grade in the class than I would have been happy with. But and you know, that was kind of my low point because I was happy with a passing grade, and I'm like, I don't want to be happy with a passing grade. I want to be happy with a higher grade than that.
Correct.
So I took it up a notch, and that's the lowest grade I've ever gotten in class. I don't want to talk about that one very much. But I got it done, and I managed to move on to the next class, and you know, it worked out from there.
Very good. Now, we're going to close with this. Tell us about this, because you have been a pioneer in this. And when we say a pioneer, she has overcome many obstacles that has pushed systems, pushed normal ways of doing things in ways that your typical student doesn't. When we think about where we are as a country today, it's important that we understand the history of the sacrifices that were made to get us here. And as I, as principal of the academy, look at to where we are today as an academy and to where we are going, I owe a tremendous thank you, and we all owe a tremendous thank you to Alyssa, because Alyssa, she fought the hard fights. She fought the fights that when we didn't know better, and you know the saying that you don't do better until you know better, has been thanks to you. Thanks to your questions, thanks to your challenges, thanks to your challenging us. And one of those huge accomplishments she's wearing around her neck today, and I'll let her tell you about it.
Well, Phi Theta Kappa was not something that was just, well, at least for most other students, you think it would be something that you just submit your grades and you go in and you get it, and that wasn't the case with us because they had never had any cases like us before. So
what is Phi Theta Kappa?
Phi Theta Kappa is a national honor society. It's I think it's technically a fraternity, but I'm not entirely sure. Mm-hmm. And it's national. It's all across the United States, and it might even be international, but I'm not completely sure about that. And it's for 2-year institutions, and it provides, it's for students who have a GPA of 3.5 or higher. And they have to maintain that grade point average, and they provide scholarship opportunities. They provide opportunities to be involved in the community at JCC and the surrounding area. So, you know, it was really quite something to be able to get into this, especially since, from my understanding, me, Brian, and a few other students were among the first to get into the Honor Society.
So initially, they didn't even want to let you in, did they?
Well, it's not that they didn't want to. They didn't know if they could because they've never dealt with anybody like us before. You know, like, can we let high school students in? Is there some sort of requirement that they need to have before they get in? And it turned out, no. We're just like any other college student.
Yep, so you kept a 3.5 or better throughout your whole college, and tomorrow you'll be walking proudly, representing the Newsome family, your extended family. Mm-hmm. A big thank you to us, a big thank you from us to you, Alyssa. What are you looking forward to do after tomorrow? After you walk off that stage, you've got your diploma, what are you most looking forward to doing?
I have to say going home and sleeping.
Going home and sleeping.
Because it's been a long week,
yes.
Finals week.
Yep, and can you blame her? Alyssa, we are so proud of you. Thank you so much, and we'll look forward to hearing a little bit more from you.
All right.
Thanks, Alyssa.